Hey, what's going on? My name's Jag Lane. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Daniel Craig, James Bond, as he dodges a question that was asked to him. And I think he's tired of being asked Bond questions in general. Like, he had it for all out his career as James Bond, which you'd expect, but he's no longer Bond, right? He is no longer James Bond. They're looking for a new Bond. The announcement, I made a video on it yesterday talking about the announcement should be in November. And he gets asked questions like this one. Daniel Craig dodges gay James Bond question while promoting new romance movie. So he has done a complete 180. He did after Bond Hamlet. He's of course doing Knives Out 3. I think Knives Out 2 came out after Bond did, if I remember correctly. Knives Out Glass Onion. Glass Onion came out in 2022. Yeah, so that came out a year after. So he's had uh, two, nearly three films now where he is, trying to stray really away from the action hero he once was. He's also done a Broadway show, I believe it's Hamlet, something like that. He did. I didn't go and see it, but I heard it was really good. But Daniel Craig keeps getting asked Bond questions, and this is it. Daniel Craig dodges gay James Bond question while promoting new romance movie. Yeah, it's just that question. I think is absurd at this point. Like, he doesn't know what they're going. He doesn't know where they're going with, who they're doing, what they're doing. He doesn't know. He doesn't want to know. I don't think. I think he wants to be surprised. He's a big Bond fan, like the rest of us. Daniel Craig dodges a question regarding the potential for gay incarnation of James Bond while promoting his new film Queer after actor Pierce Brosnan retired as Ian Fleming's iconic British super spy. Craig became a 007 in 2006 with the acclaimed Casino Royale. Craig starred in a total of 5 Bond films, ultimately bidding farewell to the franchise with the explosive ending of No Time to Die in 2021. During a press conference for Queer via the THR, this new collaboration with director Luca Guadagnino, a reporter asked Craig whether there could ever be a gay Bond. Before Craig has a chance to answer, Guadagnino offers up his own response, declaring that 007's ability to accomplish his mission is all that really matters. Before shifting his answer to talk about Craig's casting as Lee in Queer. Check out the director's comments below, which includes praise for Craig. Guys, let's be adults in the room for a second. There is no way around the fact that nobody would ever known what James Bond desires. Period. The important thing is that he does his mission properly. Having said that, I've been an admirer of this gentleman for a long time. I had this intuition that I suffocated within me because I'm pragmatic. You have to make movies. You cannot daydream. A gentleman that was in the casting room was really the one that was not pragmatic and said to me, "What about Daniel Craig?" And I said, "I thought about him, but he's never going to say yes." And he said to me, "Let's ask." And he said yes. And yes, that was a definitive yes. He's one of the greatest actors. It's a privilege to work with someone like him. What Guadagnino's response means for the James Bond franchise. A gay Bond seems unlikely for now. Right. They do not know. They are not in the. They are not the directors in the next Bond. They are not in the casting process of the next Bond. They are not the Broccolis. They are not MGM. They're not Amazon. It does seem unlikely because a lot of old people, watch Bond. Bond is written as a straight white male. It was written in the 50s, and you can't change literature. It'd be nice if you could, but you can't change literature, right? The book was written that way, and that was that. The first Bond book was published in 1953 with Casino Royale, with the first movie in the franchise, Dr. No, coming 9 years later. In every Ian Fleming novel, all the subsequent films, Bond has been a straight man and his womanizer persona has been a major part of the character, though Craig's iteration of the character was evolved to be more appropriate in today's cultural landscape, such as giving him more long-term love interests. Bond largely remains the same character he's always been. With the announced Bond 26 on the horizon, franchise producer Bob Broccoli has said that the next 007 will be a total renovation. There have been calls to introduce a black Bond or a female Bond, but any major changes to the character at this point are unlikely to be controversial. While some popular Bond candidates are black, such as Idris Elba, Regina Page, changing the character to a woman or reimagining him as gay would likely be more diverse as the fundamentally changes the character. The No Time to Die cast featured Lashana Lynch as the franchise's first black 007, and we all know how that went. Like, I like Lashana Lynch as, Naomi, but not many people liked the fact that they changed the 007 status. It was I think they did it as a testing thing to see what was really, how fans really felt about it. And people were like, I guess if that's the way you want to go, not the way we'd have chose, but it is, it's their movie. Our take on Gundego's gay James Bond comment. Bond's sexual orientation is a part of a larger conversation. Gardino is right, of course, about Bond's ability to accomplish his missions being more important than his sexual orientation. There's no real storytelling reason why 007 couldn't be a gay man, but such a decision can't be divorced from a conversation about how much source material can be changed before an adaptation becomes something else. Commercial consideration also plays a role, and turning Bond into a gay man would likely have a negative impact on the film's bottom line. Ultimately, it seems unlikely that the character of Bond will become gay anytime soon. It's far more likely that while the character remains straight, a gay actor could be brought on to play the role. A lot remains unknown about the Bond franchise's future, but his sexual orientation is sure to remain a diverse point. And this is something I want to put out there, right? You can have a gay actor play Bond. Neil Patrick Harris, right? He was in a TV show called How I Met Your Mother. He played a womanizer, right? And he's gay. There is nothing wrong with having a gay actor take on the role. What is wrong about it, though, is trying to change everything about the character. Bond was written 70 years ago. The film has been 60 plus years. I think it's 71 years since the books, 62 years since the films started. And I look at this and I think, you can't keep changing cinema. You can't keep changing the rules to keep everybody happy. Because at the same time, you're never going to get everyone to be happy. If Bond was to change a little bit, die-hardcore Bond fans who do not believe in Bond being that way will not be happy. The character is what he is. Sure, they could see what it would be like doing a black Bond or doing a gay Bond or a female Bond, sure. But I think Daniel Craig said it in an interview back when he was doing No Time to Die Press, and they were talking about this. And he really banged the nail on the head here. He said, why are they not making a character as good as James Bond for black people or for gay people or for women, right? And I look at this and I think he's got a very good point. And then, I see the trailer from Amazon Prime of Alex Cross. Not a Bond type, but he's a detective. He works for, I guess partly he works for the police, but he works in the Secret Service a little bit, I believe. Haven't read the books, it's just from little synopsis I've read. And that is a black character, and I thought, they're making it into a show because TV shows are more, bringing more audience these days. They had films of them, and they were good films, just it never developed into a franchise because no film franchise, may I point this out, has been able to do what Bond has done, which is have 6 actors, 60 years, and just keep going, and just keep reinventing itself, keeping up with the times. It's so easy for Bond to do that because it's the only type of thing there's the only type of character there is. You look at Bourne, Jason Bourne, another spy franchise. We've had 5 Bourne films. The trilogy that was immensely amazing. The 4th film that was regarded as the worst one for a very long time. And not many people look at it and go, oh, that's a Bourne film because Matt Damon's on it. You typecast the character. to an actor, right? And then you look at Jason Bourne, people going, it was all right. They reboot the characters. That it looks like Bourne's being rebooted or Matt Damon's going back. It's unknown which one yet. But you look at it and you think that's actually a very good point. Why has Bond been able to stay alive for 60 plus years in fandom and be a big part of culture? Well, he's a cultural figure. He's 100% British, and I think because Bond keeps up with the times, it never gets boring. Daniel Craig, Jason Bourne came out, boom, brand new spy film, brand new style. They rebooted Bond straight away. Let's make a Bond film with this guy, and let's do it quick, fast, relentless, action. Let's see what happens, and it worked. Quantum of Solace, Writer's Strike didn't work as well, but it worked. Skyfall was the highest grossing Bond film to date, and then you've got films like Spectre that was never going to live up to Skyfall. Skyfall, I think, is top tier movie. I think, to be honest, my favourite out of the Craig films is Casino Royale, Skyfall, No Time to Die, Spectre, and Quantum. I think that's how it goes, just because I feel like the story was more richer within them films, and they just did a lot more that just works, I think, a bit better in them 3 films. But it's weird, because every Bond film, if you look at the very first one that released, brand new Bond, did really well, people love it. The second one couldn't live up to the first one, but did okay. The third one did immensely amazing, but the fourth one could never live up to that. And the fifth one was his final appearance, and everyone's like, okay, that's how we're ending it, that's cool. It's new, it was exciting at the time, and now we're getting a new Bond. And I don't know whether they're going to be changing. I don't know anything about that. All I know is that it's being rumoured to be announced in November 17th. So I look at this, and I just think, come on. Do people not realise this guy has nothing to do with them anymore? Like, he doesn't know what they're doing. But he's going to be kept getting asked Bond questions until... Just reset my thing, I'm looking at other articles. He's just going to keep getting asked Bond questions until the day that he, leaves the role. So, that is what it is. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. But it is, so... Hey-ho. As with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Leave me your thoughts. Like, would you guys want a gay James Bond? Would you want a Bond that strays from the last 60 years? My personal opinion of it is, don't change something that's broke, because it's a money-making machine. I think if they changed it, it would be an uproar. I guarantee it would be. My personal preference is, if Idris Elba, right, if he was younger, I'd have probably have gone, okay, have at it. But there's no young British black guy at the moment that I look at and go, that's who I want. There's none. Right? And the other thing that people got to remember is racism is still in this world. There are people that are still very racist, and people will not go and watch this film because they are. I see it in fandoms. I'm seeing it at the moment in Doctor Who. So, yeah. But with that being said, I don't mind. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I don't mind either way. But yeah, as always, stay cinematic. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.